there's any itemization changes, just if you have anything that comes to mind, but generally this looks like JDG are going for a I don't want to say it's a slow composition, but outside of mid lane,
inclination towards these grubs, but at the same time, you know, I've had to play my fair share of 80 carry and solo queue and scrims. I've seen what it's like, and sometimes you just want to switch up the lane assignment just so you can get more farm, or that you can kind of reposition your characters around the map. You know, there's no reason not to half the time.
Ability here for Haichao. Ooh, seeing Harry without this Mega Gnar for this fight. I mean, he's not going to be able to TP anyways. This is just going to be a 4-on-4.
Yep. 4-on-4, and everything matters about this banana bush here. Whoever has control of this banana bush is going to get these grubs here.
Oh, there's a Taliyah wall. It's going to bar them into the pit. Bullet Time's going to rip onto 3 members. The push from the Vault Breaker and the cease and desist makes a kill here for for OMG. Starry is going to start to rip across the rest of the team. Junji is going to let the ultimate fly. And nothing is gained from this from JDG. They'll grab 2 grubs, but they'll lose 3 kills in trade. And the rest of the map now, I mean, you invested pretty heavily for that.
Catch out Xiaoshu here. Really good ultimate buffer. And that's going to counteract the dive entirely. You love to see it.
Moham! He's just caught out trying to move into the topside jungle. All right, so OMG not only don't make a good investment on the play on the bottom side, they then get punished here in the mid lane. Moham going down. Vampire, no flash. And there's a hell of a lot of ability still left here for OMG, but they corral themselves back towards the river ramp on red side. And they're going to push themselves back into the jungle pit. There it is. There's a cease and desist from Juhan. There is a Taliyah Weaver's Wall riding Haichao with a Grim Deliverance. Will not save the jungle of JDG. Junji is going to fall first. Juhan is going to fall second. And Starry dies as well. There's a revive available here for Xiaoshu, but it's not going to matter anymore. JDG, they're the ones that win the dragon on these item spikes.
Yeah, JDG completely taking over in that fight. Looks like Gala's full hit points was completely able to just dish out the damage. I do not think you can give this as OMG. This is an extremely powerful objective. Moham being chunked out.
Moham's just dead. Grim Deliverance is used. It's a little late, but it doesn't matter. Xiaoshu will have the Grim Determination ready to make sure that he's alive. Cultivation. That's just it. He's forcing Harry out of this fight. Doesn't even need Mega Gnar. Who cares? Haichao is sitting in bottom lane. He TPs into mid, and by that time that it happens, the Herald's already gone. JDG have already won the fight and taken their gold.
Going JDG's way, and it's completely flipping the script here. JDG has this one in the bag as long as they can continue this pace.
Juhan, what do we do? Okay, that's another kill over to Xiaoshu. Haichao's going to try and throw some of these rocks while Hongq takes another top turret. I think was really predicated on them being first to objectives so that they can have setup with this Taliyah and this Gnar. There's another Grim Deliverance.
He's going to need that cultivation of war.
We have the revive. He's out. Okay.
Yeah, he is.
He'll drop
chilling,
turret aggro.
Yeah, and this is what I was referring to in the pick ban phase, man. Hongq being engaged on by Harry. Looks like he might go down here. Does Harry survive this?
Yeah.
He absolutely does. Harry with the solo bolo onto Hongq there. Did not see that one coming off.
Hey, Harry's Gnar so far in Demacia Cup has been fearful, and he is doing at least enough to keep himself relevant. Unfortunately for him, he presses tab and he's going, why is this enemies a hen 3-0-2 after all the good work I put in? We've seen some okay stuff from Haichao. Maybe we can try to loop in Starry here as our star AD carry for the team, but feels like everything is starting to slip in terms of just the cleanliness of play and generally the setup around these objectives.
Used and driven, so that's not going to be a combat tool for JDG here. Kind of just using that as a ploy to distract them from the Drake, and that's going to put them on sole point here. JDG has this game on a really good trajectory right now.
We can kind of see that now on the minimap with Moham contesting versus 2 JDG members.
Yeah, and we can just take a moment to appreciate the Otacon still being around for this Demacia Cup because, you know, you don't know what you got till it's gone is what they say, and this objective is about to be removed from the game, and it's reflected in the inventories, so I think this game is on even footing right now.
Yeah, but they have no vision in this pit right now. Hongq gets a bit of damage down onto Moham. Xiaoshu gets spotted on the flank, but they're going to have to worry about so much. Do we go for Otacon? Do we squeeze onto Zahen? 3,000 and ticking. Oh, the Wukong gets knocked out, and it's
That was a
taken
clone.
by Vampire! That's that unsealed spellbook, giving him so much value. Grim Determination comes down. Zahen's gonna try to follow up. I mean, look, this is Gala just letting it loose. Bullet time, just as an exit measure. OMG, they don't even get the Otacon. They barely trade a kill there, and it's up to Vampire, the support. Hai Chao, in that time before, he has a gold advantage to himself. Starry's just going to use his Bloodthirster to lifesteal himself back up. Xiaoshu squeezes them on one side. They've spotted Juhan. That is the cease and desist onto Hongqiu. Can they find him? No. He flashes over the wall. Xiaoshu on this Zahen is putting pressure on the enemy AD carry. And there's a fight in the pit. Who's going to get the smite? It's Junjia. Who rings true? Cyclone's going to knock up a few members. Harry, there he goes, the Gnar ultimate. But it's all for what? JDG are going to win this fight with 3 kills to 0. And they'll grab themselves the Mountain Soul with Baron spawning up in a few seconds.
Yeah, and Junja is smurfing pretty hard this game. It's not reflected that much in the scoreboard, but if you're seeing what I'm seeing, he is just performing across the board. Ever since that cheeky invade at level 2, he's kind of just had Juhan's number this game, and it almost makes you wonder if you're OMG and this game just kind of ends in the next few minutes here, JDG destroys your base. Do you go back to the...
For JDG and a Mountain Soul, OMG were already kind of struggling to find kills, mostly onto the 2 supports who don't have Aftershock. Now the Mountain Soul with double Mountain Dragon and a Baron, it's gonna...
And Zahen.
And Zahen. Things are not going to be looking very pretty for them, and this is the JDG we've been waiting to see all tournament long.
Yeah, we are finally seeing JDG come in as some sort of form here. You know, they're doing really well for themselves. Hongqiu has been doing all right on the other hand. I do think Hai Chao has been performing a bit better this game. Unfortunately for him, his team cannot say the same. With that being said, JDG is doing very well here. The Weaver's Wall comes in.
Nope, I'm going to find too much now. They're trying to force on the Junjia, but that's an exhaust. That's to try to get the knock-up onto Hai Chao. They get him. There it is. Gala with the laser just barely tickles the enemy in mid laner. And they're just fighting in the pit. They're fighting in a chokehold. This is exactly where JDG want to find themselves. A triple kill for Gala. And yeah, we traded out our jungler, but now we're going to be able to have the big purple worm take down the rest of these structures.
Yeah, and that's going to be the ace for JDG. They had the Mountain Soul. They had the Baron buff. If you're having a fight on even remotely even terms there's just no way you're winning that. You see Gala with the 1k bounty, Xiaoshu with the 1k bounty, you know, 3 items for this Yunara, and they're going to go ahead and close this game out right here on the back of that ace.
That's game 1 going over to Jindong Gaming. A best of 3 still left for us here in OMG, so a lot left on the table to provide. Whether or not this will be a series is up to them at this point. 1-0 start for them. Outranged, the wall by itself is broken enough. This is a tough composition for OMG to be able to find victories on. Maybe it's going to involve some early ganks from Juhan visiting Hongqiu. We talked about it as a potential strategy here.
Until he gets some more items and uses that TP. But yeah, that's just to be expected. That's par for the course. Things might take a turn for the worse for OMG if these recalls go up. But Vampire just stepping way too far.
Wait, they may have baited them in here. It's going to be Vampire who's going to be on 150 HP. They get the flash immediately out from Starry. Moham uses his heal, but it's not going to be enough. Starry's going to go down first blood to Junjia.
Does sort of start to turn the tides a little bit. We're able to trade more effectively and be a lot stronger. So this could be something here, though.
Junjia walks into his bot side jungle, thinks
so
it is
dead.
safe. It is not. It's Hai Chao. It's Juhan, and is the first kill here for OMG. Also steal away the blue buff, maybe even go for an early dragon. Flash, Renekton has ultimate. Usually this is around the time you would want to be playing around this objective. Junja's here's first as well. Juhan's going to probably just have to flash over this wall. Wind becomes lightning. Wind becomes a death here. Barely surviving. Xiaoshu's going to flash forward alongside Vampire. That'll be Juhan going down. A flash from Moham also secures his safety. As the grubs being started only turn into a single one being gained by OMG. JDG will take the rest of this objective.
Xin Zhao is going to be able to have just as much XP and gold as him. So I don't know if I like that out of Juhan. Seems to me a bit of a mistake. Luckily, the Hextech Drake is a very good one to start the match off with here. So that will kind of be a nice saving grace for this early game. Probably the reason why things aren't looking so pretty for them right now.
All right, Juhan gets his blue buff this time. Seems like there's a skirmish. It feels like OMG want to try to find something here, whether that's the public execution or even pulling over Moham. You have, it is a Zinzao and an Alistar, and you still have Subjugate. I feel like this is an angle here. John's going to put down the pillar. Oh, they knock him away? That is a Crescent Guard to try to save Junja, but it's not enough. A kill now going over. Can they find a little bit more? Moham and the rest of this team, they're going to dogpile onto Xiaoshu. Dominus popped. Engage onto Moham.
What?
One more kill. There it is. He gets it, and he gets all of that heal from the Ruthless Predator. Gala lets the piercing arrow fly. OMG taken down, but Haichao has now moved over to this one. Haichao is going to finish off this fight. It is finally OMG acting with some level of aggression. Of maybe JDG, but I know Gala definitely want to hit that mid-wave a little bit more. Oh, there's another fight in picture-in-picture. We got Dragon spawning soon. Xiaoshu for JDG. No OMG, they have no flash on their top or their jungle. Kind of to match there, but I mean, this is as good as it's going to get, right? You have one item spikes on a couple of your champions. You're about a minute and a half ahead of your Rod of Ages. Juhan's going to go top lane. There's Haichao with this Realm Warp. A teleport to be matched by Hongqiu, but is it enough? Can Xiaoshu live there? Ruthless Predator gets him a little bit of a heal. Now the public execution on a Hongqiu. Can him and Vampire really turn this fight? Junja's right behind them, but they're buying so much time and wasting JDGs. Teleports were used for that play, but now OMG are the ones that get to move into this Herald.
Yeah, at first I thought they might have over-indexed into killing this Renekton, but it's just definitely not the case. JDG doesn't have many tools here. Junja goes in.
Oh, Junja, he has flash, right? Like, there we go. He's going to be able to kill Juhan. There's the ultimate as well from Gala. Keeps Haichao away. Harry and the rest of Moham trying to make something happen on this side of the fight. Starry gets a kill. This could be OMG's fight finally to find access. Xiaoshu will teleport in. Haichao has no way of walking into this fight.
Yeah, Bessa just can't quite kill everyone there. Just because he's got this gold lead doesn't really mean it's actualized in his inventory just yet, as JDG start up this Herald, and it doesn't look like OMG's going to have a contest.
It looks like they instead want to try to cover for this top lane wave, make sure that Haichao gets his gold, clears this ward. First turret, or a turret, going over to OMG on the bottom side. Mind everybody for stakes here. You might think it's JDG OMG. What exactly are we even watching this game for? JDG 0-2 in this group. If they lose here tonight, they will be unable to make top 8, and will have a single last match against BLG in a few days' time. But if they win this, they'll at least be able to control their fate for now. Oh, that's the Blade Caller and the public execution. Junja gets engaged upon, but the Crescent Guard's going to save him for now. Xiaoshu flashes forward. Ruthless Predator almost stays alive. All of that rage, all of that fury, and maybe even starting to make their way over to this Otacon.
It's a small win for now, but they can maybe just turn it into
oh
a
my
big
God,
one. And
Hongqiu.
Bessa predicts the flash. Is Hongqiu just chopped here? It appears so. But that's going to be a Hongqiu for Otacon trade as far as I can tell. And as JDG, I'm pretty sure you're happy about that. You know, it looked like Junja did kind of grief there with the way that he had his usage of the Rift Herald. He was like indecisive. Should he dance in the tower? Should he not? Go down nearly on time.
Sorry, I'm watching Gala almost get solo killed by Harry
Picture.
Here.
He's
Continue.
running for his life up there, man. But anyhow, Renekton is just able to go straight into that backline, and just by so much time, that champ is just really good this game. But OMG is definitely in a pretty good spot here. Look, we've got a level 6. Haichao has everything he needs to carry this game, as does Harry. Let's hope he gets out if we're an OMG fan right now.
Oh, whoa, okay. All right, public execution ends up not mattering. Still is able to survive. They get the dragon there for OMG, and Otacon only gave JDG 10 petals. That's barely enough to crack a level at this point. Very, very small amount. Oh, that is the headbutt from Vampire trying to isolate Moham. It'll get him there, and it will take away Juhan's flash. But this wall from Anivia! It's preventing the rest of JDG's melees from walking forward.
Harry for Haichao for Starry. It's definitely nice to see if you're an OMG fan, but just like you mentioned, you want to keep in mind, Hongqiu is getting caught out here by Juhan, however.
Oh, didn't need to use the flash this time. It is going to be Moham caught and exploded. Or sorry, that's Juhan completely gone from this fight. Moham and Starry are trying to lay down the feathers. Haichao will reposition himself to join the rest of his team, but that allows for Vampire to get a headbutt and get his flash away from this fight. Junja trying to find something, flashes forward, 3-talon strike, destroys Starry. Harry is next. Baron is afterwards, and OMG completely lose the fight.
Yeah, and before I can even say more, JDG just out of the blue takes 4 names off the board. That's 4 gray screens for the side of OMG, and this is very, very ugly. You don't like to see that as the OMG fan here. It would be a big consolation prize if Haichao can get away with this Dragon Heist right now. That does actually keep them with some pretty realistic chances in this game. That's going to put them on sole point, assuming he gets away with this. And, of course, that was a very, very good play for JDG, but respect to Haichao. He does give his team a bit of a win condition here, so let's see if Honkyu can sniff him out. And looks like, yeah, he's not long for this world, man.
I mean, he has his teammates come in. Moham's... No, never mind. All right. You know what, fools? I'll trust in the fact that you're a challenger player. Sometimes appeal to authority is actually just the correct appeal. Moham also goes down. You can see it in the player cams. Haichao maybe a little frustrated with the game state. Sorry, he's dead too. Okay, everything's going to hell in a handbasket at this point.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's just the Baron just completely owning the rest of this game, and that's probably just it. JDG will find themselves with a 2-0. They will keep their hopes alive of making top 8 here at Demacia Cup 2025. It is only Harry and Juhan left. One minion wave left in mid lane. Might get a little bit of a stall here, but I don't think much has happened at this point. Juhan's going to try and stack the wave. That's it.
Yeah, and just out of the blue, it just seems that JDG is going to take this game. We're going to see one last fight at the Nexus here. Gala flashing out, pierces him through the heart. That Trundle pick not quite getting where we needed it to. It looked like Haichao might have had something there, but JDG had it all. They had the series. That's going to be the first win on the board.
And I do think Corki, while an interesting choice, I feel like he'll be susceptible to not having a great mid to late game. He can open this early game wide up with the Leona. This is definitely a superior 2v2 across the board, just with your experience as Hung. It's just like Luigi's Haunted Mansion at this point.
Okay, so he's going to smite away the blue buff for help, but Wei gets a full combo down. There's no root coming across from Hong on those Tangle Barbs. Tries to flash away from Wei. Tongguan is going to guard his jungler. Renardo is going to flash. Shove Hong the wrong way. Actually lets the Zyra out. Now YCX re-engages. There's no flash on this Talia. And Renard gets packed out for the first kill. Somehow Photic has come back from over top. I don't know how Photic gets there, but he gets himself the kill onto Hong. They re-engage onto YCX. And now Invictus Gaming have the numbers to funnel all their gold into Photic. Good flash away from the Yone Q as Xiaoya shows up to the party, but he is too late. Everybody has bailed out. Can't even find the trade kill onto Wei, and that is a 4-kill start for Invictus Gaming.
On to Xiaoya. So if you didn't have that rel, you likely couldn't have gone for the extended trade. Misfortune wouldn't have had as much gold. It's a super stellar start here for IG, and they're looking for more.
Renard has Weaver's Wall, going to source out Hong, who is 2 levels down, and this time we're flicking back towards our team. Renard finding a good pick with that ultimate and gets more gold into the pockets.
Enough information going into it, so all of that setup, all of the work to switch around the lanes to optimize as many LGD members into this top side as possible. And at the end of all of it, it's IG that actually come away with the grubs. They should be able to get the full 3 encampment. And this is absolutely huge, Slayer. You've got Sion and Talia. You expect these to be really, really, present in the side lanes. So this just means they're going to get so much more pressure in those lanes and pull a lot more LGD members at the same time.
Oh, here we go. Unstoppable Onslaught coming through for Sobro. Looking here for Hong, who has just been the target all game long. He flashes, but the flick back still comes through for Zhui. Tries to drop the Zyra ultimate, but Photic is going to grab himself a 4th kill. Thanks in large part. Very big to get YCX, his Solar Flare. He just ticks over to level 6. Hong is going to proc the Dragon, but Wei was waiting in the wings. Flash, Magnet Storm, immediate engage on top of Hong, and you don't need a Cyclone when you got the setup like that to get the kill over for Wei. Weaver's Wall comes down across, all out, is going to come through for Sasa, and he will trade 1 for 1. Wei goes down, and Unstoppable Onslaught onto the back line. Good Blast Cone to get Xiaoya out, and now Sobro is stuck up creek with no paddle, but he's got more than enough health, and it's going to be the Fate-sealed whiff coming out here for Tongguan. Dragon secured. There's the bullet time over top. Photic can't find the kills, but Wei's going to try and chase them down. Sasa flashes over the wall. Xiaoya's going to eat a slow and eat a stick to the face. Wei picks up another one on top of the Dragon, and IG are continuing to break open our game 1. Everyone worried about this roster, especially for Demacia Cup. Not a great start up against LNG either. And they just get completely, and they're coming out swinging. Xiaoya, though, does get a lot of damage down back onto Photic. It's the re-engage from Shui. Full crash down Magic Storm combination onto YCX. Wei comes in, and they got more than enough damage thanks to Photic's accelerated kit there. Good little look from LGD, but they're just too far behind right now, Quacks. It was their damage dealers having the ability to outplay LGDs. And so far, they've had the leads to do so. And it's who again? Shui looking for the play. He eats 2 ultimates to the face and gets the Magnet Storm off before he dies. Hung is going to find that kill. And it's just good old-fashioned support sacrifice there, but it's IG that still have control of the pit.
Yep, and now they're going to be looking for more.
Hong, he is caught over the wall on a ward, and Wei is not going to let him get away with that. Fate Sealed is going to whiff as well from Tongguan. Still looking to trade it away. Maybe he can get the pullback for the damage. No, can't even find that trade.
Like a foregone conclusion, even when it was just that basic trade of supports in the kill department. IG, now they're able to use this ahead of the Dragon in about 30 seconds. They can pull that pressure. Has that org he was a part of in 2025 to give him that name. And for Wei, I mean, you are the only remaining member from this year. You've got the most experience. You've been at the highest heights compared to your teammates. So you have to bring that experience along in order to take some of these younger players to higher heights. As Tongguan just has to ult away. IG are completely in their face.
Shui was dismounted on Rel and was still clicking forward. Some things never change, Shui, and love to see it, even like you mentioned, on that new banner. Hero play for this mid lane tier 1 turret. It's no kills coming off the board, but it's just as massive as almost wiping a fight these last couple plays from Invictus Gaming.
And we talk about the importance of LGD needing to, gain dragon controls. They're not even able to kill the Herald before it recharges.
Oh, there we go, Renard. Oh, oops it up to Photic with the slam down on the bullet time. Eviscerates YCX's health bar. Sasa is luckily tanky enough to survive the onslaught off to the top side of this fight. You see Song going up to the top of that river. He's like, there's no way LGD can fight. They knew Sasa had to take a reset after getting chunked.
Teleports.
And LGD are going to have to just give away this Otacon. They may even give away even more. The bullet time from Photic is going to whiff. Just as zoning ult gives away enough time to luckily get this Otacon down and secured. But they lose some ultimates for it until Shui, oh my god, flash crash down Magnet Storm, gobbles up 3 just like that. And the Weaver's Wall from Renard means nobody else can escape, and Photic can start cleaning up some of these kills.
2 series, in fact, after tonight is not enough of a sample size to answer the question of did they fill those shoes, but we do want to see the seeds planted for them to be capable of having a good season and of making the IG banner proud.
As we take stock of the game once more, gold aplenty, turrets getting knocked down. It's really feeling like a Baron waiting room at this point, Quacks. We're about a minute out from the Purple Worm.
There's a Baron there. We should probably go take that. Wei will be like, oh, yeah.
All right. Shui's just going to shrug off a Solar Flare. Yep, that's easy enough. Here comes the Weaver's Wall down.
Right,
catch found for Wei onto Xiaoya. Gonna dash over the wall. Fate Unsealed is gonna hit the clone. Wei is caught here though. Sorbo's gonna TP in late. Jungler down for Invictus Gaming. Can they find any of these trades? Sorbo's gonna do it all on his own here. Hong's gonna get the redemption heal to save him just in time. And Sorbo's gonna go down next. Xiaoya picks up that kill. Tank v Tank gonna be traded out. Here's Photic is gonna shut down the Mad Lad Cassante. But Baron has been completely dashed for both of these teams. Tongguan looking for more here with the Soul Unbound form. Going to get the knockup onto Shui. Ton of ways in their kit to cancel out that bullet time.
Not to mention, this is the Baron that is probably easiest to steal. I mean, you just go around one of these sections on the left and, you can go for that 50-50 Shui.
Defensive crash down to get himself out. Bullet time, though, canceled. Just like we called out. The Solar Flare means the Photic cannot find any of these kills. Redemption's going to top Hong back off at about 50%.
Oh!
And it looks like they were about to lose Sasa. The Sasa you had the right team. All right. Who cares? We're going back into game. Sasa dies. The pause can't save you. The Baron will be secured by Wei. Renard is going to cut off Xiao. He has to flash over the Weaver's Wall. But Sobero gets on the back line. Gets a 2-man slow knock-up combo with Wei. And boy, things may have looked murky earlier in this part of the jungle for IG, but they settle their debts and get the Baron in 4.
And now Xiaoya has to run for the hills, run for the towers, and Sobero isn't going to go too far in chasing him. He's just going to scare him off. IG, immediately after the pause, they practically clean house. Only one LGD member alive, and this should net them at least an inhibitor, but the death timers are still pretty long. I think they're just going to go for the end here, Slayer.
Why not, especially when Shui grabs one more for the road, catches out Xiaoya, and seals in the first game win for Invictus Gaming of Demacia Cup.
And there is no question, I feel, about this team in game number 1. The biggest question on our minds on picks like the Udyr. Now, though, we have to see him on the Ambessa take charge with that pick. Because, yeah, that is a really fun 5th pick to come out here for YCX. The Unara does give you a little bit more combat power.
Get out of those auto attacks for Xiaoya, so we'll have to track that as it goes on. A lot of aggression here from Fotik and Shui. Starting to hurt in the creep score department here. Slight lead coming across for Fotik. Hui going to get spotted fishing up his clear, along with Hong. In a classic LPL fashion, we could fight over a first Scuttle Crab because there are a whole lot of bodies up towards this top side. Hui's going to flash right on top into the immediate charm from Renard. That is beautiful synergy. Unfortunately, it's flat damage as they do get out on that one auto attack trade. Fotik, one more auto. No! Xiaoya's lethal tempo wins out as the marksmen go blow for blow. A lot of blinking health bars. Shui trying to role play as his fallen AD carry. Renard's going to force a flash out of YCX. Root Prism is going to get the snare, but there's the Tangle Barb. Hui gets the first kill. Hong goes all out with a spear. Does not find its mark on Shui, and Hui's going to turn it around for a double. Just waiting on those spells to come right back up, and he claims the feat of warfare all on his own for Invictus Gaming. Pointed out so aptly. Gotta feel nice when you back at 5 minutes as an AD carry. You get a BF sword on your return. I'll do you one better. You know what? We cover my role, Quacks, with AD carry.
Of course.
Talk to me as the jungler when it's
the
never mind. You'll get anytime. Yeah, Tunneler OP. Also, Unara slamming autos into you. Pretty OP as well. Fotik just walking down the LGD bottom lane, and I'm already feeling shades of game 1 here. Nonetheless, it's really going to, like you mentioned, spell the slowdown of the one lane that was kind of winning in the AD carry department. Still LGD confident that they can take first dragon. They did get first dragon in our opening bout off the back of a pretty good play there. And, wow, they're going to root up and just lock up Shui. No way to operate. Great handshake into that Rune Prism. Both of our teams early on showed some pretty good CC chaining, and now we got a Realm Warp. Hello, ganked in your own lane, Fotik. No chance to survive an immediate 1v4.
There's been plenty of time to respect the 1v1.
Sasa already used his ult in an earlier exchange there. I would have thought he'd look for the turnaround, but Soborough's going to walk on out of that one. 2-man game on towards the Grubs, and boy, does it help as a jungler when your AD carry and support are getting a push in like that near any objective you want to take. It's the classic passing of the torch, crossing the bridge analogy you aptly point out there. Oh, Shui. Ooh, that is a mistiming dash. Sasu is going to use the grand public execution and the flash, but Renard chases him down with a well-timed charm, and it may not have been as easy as they thought it would be, but it's still a successful pick-off. Tangguan, I wonder if he's going to try and Realm Warp in here to cover turret. Nope. Maybe?
He's just waiting for YCX. They might be trying to look for a play, but they're not going to be getting anything. In fact, IG are so confident that they are going to stay around, and maybe it'll lead to their deaths.
All right, Pop Blossom is available.
Way's in the area, his ult.
And there he goes. Turns around, hits it onto 2. He's trying to kite back for Fotik. Grand Starfall Way, and hello, IG. They turn the numbers advantage just like that. 1 TP and 1 global ultimate. Hell, they brought the whole damn squad up here. 5 members, but it's a win again for IG. They are all over the map in game 2.
And Renard and LGD right back
they're not done.
into the passenger seat as IG are just driving this game home.
No flash, no ult, no hope, just a gray screen. Sasa's going to go down. The ingenuity on some of these pick plays really shining for IG.
And Hong is in the top side, but I don't think the Xin Zhao is going to be able to prevent this top tower from going down. So Saburo going to get a lot of gold off of this turret on the Jax. And
as I say that, Quacks, I forget it's the LPL. And they have to keep the dragon stacking going, even if it may throw their game away right here. Or Way's going to respect it and see that there is no members nearby. So LGD, a little bit of a sneaky win con manifesting right now.
Target going to be resting on this Herald, trying to break open his hold on Grand Starfall.
Here comes a bright light known as Pantheon, flying on down. But on top side, we also have another man advantage coming across here. LGD making a 1v1, a 1v3, and Sorboro is caught lacking in the side lane.
For LGD, but they're going to try. We can see both teams wanting to fight around this bot side.
Oh, all right. I mean, Wei's a lot stronger than Hung, and he is not even going to get the portal out. He has to flash Crescent Guard over the wall, just keep himself safe. And Jue, you always know, is looking for a fight, and he's going to immediately flash on top of Xiaoya, force both the summoners out of the Varus. Hostile Takeover is going to provide a bit of leeway as Hung does get the kill onto Jue. They have to deal with the top laner, though. Sasa trying to knock down their jungler. And Photic, Transcended, does find that trade kill, but it's as murky of a fight as you'd like if you're LGD. Look at this. Look at this summoner economy, right? To make that fight go even, LGD have to sacrifice so much with summoners alone. Any fight that goes forward now, Photic has both summoners up. Xiaoya doesn't have flash. Tanguan doesn't have flash. Hung is not going to have flash. Sasa, all of those guys flashed that last fight, and you look across the board.
They're tier 1. They're even going to try and stop it from charging, but I don't know if that's possible.
Nope. No way to stop Shelly. Turret goes down. They're going to look for a pick on away instead. Oh, public execution. Whiffs wide right there from Sasa. Photic is transcended, and he wants to get all the auto attacks down. Tanguan, though, is going to drop the hammer onto Renard. First kill picked up for LGD. Xiaoya with the bailout will not come back from life. Photic gets that kill. Hostile takeover, not going to find its mark. Photic sneaks out with about 1 HP bar left. His way throws down in the 1 versus 2. They finally chase down Jue to get 1 kill. Hong finds back, and with the point of the spear, gets himself a double. But keep in mind that whole time, IG were fighting a man down.
Yeah, just jacks things casually. Saboro.
Sneaky Soboro. Out of vision. Photic's going to walk in first, but there he is. He's going to pounce on top of YCX. Hexgates are going to bring Renard in as well. They're going to get rid of the Renata. No bailout to come across. Soboro even knocks down Hong
no way.
and gets himself out like a true Giga Chad. Sasu's going to try and chase him down. The Counter-Strike stun lands. Soboro will finally go down, but he's bot time. 4-way to ride on in behind a star and a bunch of fire to set LGD ablaze. They don't even get the dragon, and they might even lose a couple more members here as Wei does spot out Sasa and Xiaoya trying to get back out. And they don't have a tier 2 turret to lean on, by the way, thanks to Soboro. So Jue is going the long way around. And guess what ability he has up just in time? Pop Blossom, pop go the Weasels, known as Xiaoya and Sasa. No one to stop them as Photic runs them down. 1 auto attack short, but safe to say, Quacks, that the Sorboro LCK Challengers Jax has come as advertised today.
And I love it. This is a player who is super young, super inexperienced, and very green as Hung is about to turn all shades of black and blue. He just goes down Slayer without any possible way to fight back.
Yeah, Jue doing Jue things again. Spots him out in that further topside brush and creates another kill for his team. 15 of the 19 kills secured for Invictus Gaming have Jue's name enriched on the score sheet.
Yeah, Jue has been doing such a fantastic job over the course of this series, finding those engages. Now, Tong Yuan is just no way to get out. He's going to flash, and that will actually keep him alive. I thought IG might chase for more, as Renard just casually solo killing Xiaoya off camera.
You know, you talked about it. He didn't get it done in that first fight. We saw the replay of, so he had to single out Xiaoya.
Revenge.
We're not even close to Baron spawning, and it's still the base of LGD collapsing. Photic, all right, you know what, Photic? I gave away 1 in game 1. It could get you a job come LPL 2026, and it's good to see that our solo lanes, even if they are sort of stand-ins for IG, are doing so well in this matchup against LGD. As they knocked down another tier 2 turret, and they are just playing.
This definitely does mount the pressure a little bit. Now going 1 and 2, you just want to rack up as many wins as possible to increase your individual stonks. You take that Hexgate, prepare to get spawn camped. Literally, as there's just no real way for them to enter into that part of the map. IG should have no trouble taking the Baron on spawner, at the very least just taking the Baron at their own leisure. And from there, I mean, you can use Renard with his teleport, Wei with his ultimate to really thin out LGD and start closing your hand around this game's throat.
All right.
No one
I don't
took
know
that
what that
ultimate.
Realm Warp was, but it goes down. Immediate Charm on the TP. Does Sasa get to move? Yeah, he gets to flash away. Then with his public execution, Foda picks up that kill. Shui gets a huge pop blossom on the backside. Sorbro's trying to operate, but guess who gets to step up? The Gatling gun that is Fotic, and he just melts down all of LGD. No Baron, no problem. No series wins yet, no problem. IG make a statement in Group A, and we're going to 2-0 in quick fashion LGD.
I put that statement on Braille for the blind, bolden it, underline it, highlight it. IG came to this series ready to play, and LGD were just in their way. A clean 2-0 from the squad. Really solid stuff from them. Massive hats off for their ability to dominate the way they did. You've got some of the more easy to execute compositions right now. Nothing too fancy for the first game, as LNG are getting a little bit fancier, right? You've got the Aphelios, you've got the Ziggs, and you've got the Malphite.
It definitely feels like he's a much more pro skirmish jungler. When he becomes light, he's going to connect on the big Krug. He's going to smite it away, get to level 4, and he's looking to throw it down with Krako here. Full cast of spells from the Malphite, but I don't know. The sustain of this Xin Zhao, very worrying. Can either top laner get over here in time? Krako might have to kill the knockup. One more auto. Shun flashes away, finds first blood, and now it's Sheer's turn to chase him down. Does have flash, but on his nearby, he's going to flash and still deliver a dreaded return, and Sheer will find a kill back here for LNG.
These grubs with really no contest. BLG, I think, were posturing like they could fight for it. That's why they didn't immediately go onto the Dragon for a cross-map play. But now you don't really get anything. I think it's too late to start up the Drake because Krako is already on the move, and crucially, this Malphite has hit level 6, so it's a lot harder to push him around. Actually taken down to half. So now this just limits Missing's ability to kind of zone control these waves. Viper should have a bit of an easier time picking up these minions without sacrificing health to do so.
On is down ultimate, but still wants to scrap. There's the Charm coming across. Viper goes Transcendent, dashing after 1xN. He drops the Aphelios ultimate in, but Viper finds his first kill of his LPL campaign. 1xN cannot and will not find that trade. It's Viper on the board, finally for BLG, and Shun's like, hold on, feats of warfare, can't chase down Missing, who will escape to tell the tale.
The first kill of hopefully many Slayer. Viper also going to collect a plate as Missing. You are under the tower, but with no HP.
Why flash? Why flash? I feel like he's just dead there. Gives over the flash and the feat of warfare.
I guess the silver lining for LNG on the other side. You can see that Krako is onto the Dragon, so you will have the credit for both early game objectives. BLG may have gotten the first 3 kills, but...
And somehow it seems like everyone is going to limp out of that missing tons of ultimates and summoners.
And you could tell that Viper felt like he was in a cage there, but you just wanted, you could just feel he wanted to let loose, though LNG will exfiltrate the fights. Both teams expend a decent amount of resources for that, and BLG, because they were more grouped up together, because LNG were the first ones to blink, and frankly, I think it might have been a little bit of an overextension there from Krako.
Emperor's Divide to push a Rakan away from charming up anyone else. A lot of really high-level play coming out of that. We love Krako's discipline, even if he does go all out for Shun. Just nobody able to push those health bars over. And it's to BLG's gain, because that whole early objective control conversation we're having for LNG is now
with no minion wave. But this is exactly now what we were talking about. Bin is going to have his time in the sun on the side lane, so it'll be actually 2 turrets for BLG. They will really open up the map on this top side, and that'll play into them being able to control...
well, really 2 items across the board outside the supports, so it really does feel like despite BLG's current gold lead, item-wise, it's not going to really show in this Octagon fight, and that makes for the most fun because it's just about execution and maybe a little bit of luck. BLG going to force the issue. Octagon started up here by Shun, and Viper helping off to the side. They TP Bin in. Bulldog has joined the fray as well. YXL's coming in for a flank with Bin. They do not have Sheer. There is no teleport on this Zahen, so BLG have all of the ground to play with.
They
got
got
pick off Krako. What a Shuriman shuffle from YXL to pick up that one. The Redemption's going to save him from the Mega Inferno Bomb, but not from the Moonlight Vigil. Kill picked up for 1xN, but they get the Octagon, and now they can unleash Viper and Shun. They're going to chase down missing Shun. Not going to be able to find the end of the spear onto that kill. Sheer trying to go all out with the Zahen, but is going to force the topple onslaught out of Bin. May have more space to cook now that he's got that Seeker's arm guard. And we have another fight brewing. Third Drake of the game here.
Yep.
And it's LNG with the inside track. Bin has been playing security guard at the hottest nightclub you know right now with how he's been able to zone some of these teams. But On's trying to break down the door, and they found the perfect pick onto Bulldog, who they took his flash off of him earlier on, cashing in on that investment, and LNG have no way to contest further around this Drake pit now.
I love how BLG keep forcing on that issue. Bulldog is such a clear target for them to go for, and they just rush him before he has any time to react. I think the go button as well for BLG to start out that chase into LDR. It's like, all right, I'll use this to deal with squishies and assassinate them. But then I'll also get this to deal with the tanks. What are they going to do now?
I got something for you, buddy Bin.
Book, so we are going to be, I think, waiting a little bit until one of those picks comes through. Unless LNG just decide to YOLO it and start the Baron anyway.
Start it. They've got it almost done
really
here for
low.
1xN. Kiting out on pretty well. Moonlight Vigil is going to go wide, though. Missy gets the charm. The Baron does
Viper's
reset.
not here.
And YXL has the pick onto Sheer. Bin gets the kill onto Missing. Viper finally showing up, but they got all the heavy lifting done without Viper because it's just Bin and his giant health bar causing a huge conundrum for LNG. Giga Bin might be back, at least by Demacia Cup standards. 4 kills and Baron to BLG.
Yeah, and Bin is unkillable in the fight. I mean, Viper comes in, but he's sinking his fangs into an already dead corpse as all of LNG have been taken out. BLG win out in that fight. The Baron will be their reward.
And 80 carries for next split, right?
It's the mid laners, in my opinion. I actually think mid lane is the most buffed in Season 16. Those empowered boots are no joke.
Wow, that's not a popular opinion there, Quack. So we'll have time to discuss it a bit later. Let's take in, well, a defensive Grim Deliverance from Sheer. That's never good. And the BLG Baron power play stacking up more gold than you can count.
Yeah, now BLG are looking to sunset this game. They've got a pretty significant gold lead at this point. All of their champions are accelerated. They've got the Baron and plenty of tanky members to be able to withstand the damage the turret puts out as Krako and Shun are just having a bit of a dance party here. Let's see if On decides to join in. Come on,
Somebody
On.
orbital cannon that. Yes! Oh, I did hit On. All right. Krako, I was like, he broke up the BM. He has to die, but BLG are too far ahead. It's been running right at. How does he hit 1xN again? He hits 1xN again, bro. And there goes the game, exploding around the giant scion that is Giga Bin. We talked all about Shun coming back in, Viper's debut for BLG, but your Game 1 MVP for Billy Gaming is going to be that giant tank of a man known as Bin on the top side. And here comes the final march. Bulldog doesn't even have mana near his own Nexus. It's time to wipe down the last 2 members of LNG. Down goes Sheer, down goes Bulldog, and down goes LNG in Game 1.
And a lot of people, you know, anticipating that BLG would be this explosive team, that they would look for every possible opportunity, that they would be this micro-centric group of 5. It is the job of Shun to be that early game agency character and really build that bridge for the late game threats drafted for the rest of the BLG lanes to take over when the time comes.
Scrubs fallen. This is a huge win for LNG. That side lane advantage for BLG has been effectively neutered.
Yeah. They're not even going to be able to. They actually only go for the 2, so maybe BLG will be able to pick up the 1 later down the line. I'm actually really surprised they don't just take the full encampment, because you have to realize that, yeah, the top side of BLG has super relevant side lane potential that could, you know, pull focus away. As long as it's not, you know, a Syndra within kill threat, you can, you know, at least for the one time, afford to lose some HP because you have teleport to just get back to the lane. Teleport is a super valuable summoner spell, or Flash is a super valuable rather.
Krako wants his free grub by this point. He's waited long enough, and that will give Void Mites over to LNG as well. So
yeah.
As much as we talked about it slowing down the BLG win con of this side lane threat, now you know you win a fight.
I definitely think that the grub's going to help make these, you know, potentially one-team fights by LNG even
is this-
worse for BLG is on.
All right, back to on antics early on here. Oh, the flash doesn't even get away from the tempered fate. I don't think Viper can save him. Beautiful stun from missing into the scatter of the week. All the Syndra damage comes across. Takes a
Viper's
long while to end
alone
up
now.
killing off missing, and now Viper surrounded 1 versus 4, stunned up against the wall. Missing, getting it done on this Bard. And LNG start the kill count out with 2.
Of LNG, but now that they get those kills onto the bot laner, look at what they're doing. They're using those grubs. This is what we talked about, and YXL is here, but he immediately dips.
And now they're having to try and force a dive onto a Cassante. He goes all out to pull Bin back under turret aggro. He's going to get rid of the wave as well.
Really is that early game bridge. And they still can build on it, though. LNG, like we said, just have a little bit more power indexed into them. And now I like this dive coming through.
Yeah, this is not a tanky Cassante, and they don't even need to go for the dive. They're trying to burn down the turret, and they'll get it. Temper favor this time missing, not going to land it. Immediately gets crashed back down on Krako nearby, though. Flick back lands onto missing, and they pick up the kill. Krako goes in, trades support for support, and now with the Cyclone, wants to go after YXL. Shun trying to play bodyguard, but the alcove is not helping them. They got to slam back through. A seismic shot from the grave comes out from YXL. Does Shun have enough damage? No. Public execution going to hit, but not onto Krako. Bin flashes after him and eviscerates him down as Sheer joins the party as well. 2v2 cooking here, but Bin has too many dashes for that pesky Syndra W to land the slow. I'd like to see, I'm already going against my anti-Viper fanboy propaganda. 1xN is not afraid of anybody. He is arcane shifting at Viper. That is a man playing with no fear. And you do love to see it up against, like you mentioned, one of the kings of the marksman class. Missing might get caught here again. It's another flick back from YXL. It's going to set him up for a kill. The scatter of the week from Bulldog. Too little, too late. Pillar onto Bulldog as well. Shun gonna run him down. Scatter doesn't land the stun onto Shun, but it pushes YXL away.
Available is 1xN. Just arcane shifts forward now. YXL though, he's actually not going to commit to the kill, but I, like you said, love the confidence that this Ezreal is playing with. If he had a few more resources, I feel like that confidence could be backed up by just sheer damage. But we'll have to wait a few more minutes until that big 2-item Ezreal power spike comes through.
Well, Quacks, why would you want to rely on sheer damage? He's playing a tank this game.
You got me.
We'll see those flashes tested very shortly as well, Quacks. Octagon onto the Rift, spawning on that top side. LNG are going to make the first chess move here. It's a bullet time, traded for a tempered fate. And that's a ult economy trade you love if you're LNG. Not only because they get the tier 1 turret down, but now that bullet time's not available if you rush Octagon here.
For Ambessa to link up with his team.
All right, BLG, no, the Octagon is nearly taken down. About 5k HP. On is trying to lead the charge through here with Viper. They're going to TP in Sheer and finally bring Bin over. 5v5, battle lines drawn. Stun gonna land onto On. They're gonna try and burn down the Rel, but it's actually Sheer going into the backline. They're going after Viper without the flash. The all-out is gonna pull Viper under the LNG turret. Re-engage though for Bin. Poly execution. He's going after 1xN on the backside. Great Weaver's Wall. Pins 1xN between a rock and a hard place. And can Shun win the smite fight? Yes, he can. Octagon secured for BLG. And it's Bulldog that's now gonna try and do the heavy lifting, but the dashes are too much to deal with. Gigabin is back and ripping, roaring, and ready to go in another game here. Ace to Billy Gaming. 2.5 minutes, but quietly as well. Hextech Soul is on the board now. While we were watching the replay, BLG got onto that point, and they're looking for a pick on the missing. It's Bin again. He's just so locked into this Demacia Cup so far.
But with a Drake Hound to the face, and the LNG face is getting scarred because of it.
Denying the real only burst champion that LNG have as a threat. Kind of feels like a home run pick.
I actually do like the Spirit Visage. I think that you obviously...
Yeah, I could be a color caster. Them starting this up like this, they want to fight. And they're walking LNG in. TP right on time for Bin. LNG need to keep this game alive, or BLG call quits to our series. This fight really could dictate it. Pillar going to force the Trickster out of Kroko. YXL and On are both looking for a flank here. They're kind of entrapping LNG. Bulldog taking a ton of poke. Missing is already far too low. The exhaust will not save him. Viper takes him down. Sheer goes all in, but he is all alone. No further follow-up, and Bin says, your backline is mine. Poly execution in. Tries to chase down Bulldog. Flashes right after him. 1xN doesn't have the damage to deal with Gigabin, and now his one exit has been cut off by a giant Weaver's Wall. A clean as an ace as you can get. BLG back at it, knocking down LNG. It looks like they're going to sweep our series.
Line. And let there be no doubt, let there be no question that BLG came here to play for the next season, and they will be a team you must keep your eyes on.
Those slows. LDR done for Viper. Anyone that steps in front of him can get it. Now got Shun as well, super tanky. Bin has a QSS to continue to reset these dashes. It is going to take a mistake from BLG to open this series back up for LNG.
It is an LNG. You know, they have to find some moment to pull the trigger. They have to find some way to capitalize on this mistake that you're talking about. But BLG, you could see how reserved they're playing, how cautiously they are taking this game. They're not giving LNG an inch to look for any kind of aggressive movements. And all the while, they are slowly closing their grip around this game, around this series.
All missing. Another seismic shove. Able to get a double stun over from his mid laner, so he's safe. But the siege is still coming. Bullet time out from Viper. Not going to find too many marks. Holy excuse me, Bin is going 1 versus 5 in, and he likes those odds. He's somehow surviving and thriving even further, and the rest of BLG come right with their top laner. Big Bad Bin once again calls game, and hopefully this time they give him his goddamn player of the game, because he's player of the series in our minds here.
Yeah, weakest Ambessa, by the way, as BLG just demolish LNG here in game number 2. They leave no doubt to people that they are in control of the series, and they are one of the teams that you need to.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.